Hello! Alrighty, so one thing I want to get started off with, Lee, what you said about the eye bags thing was super real. Every time I come back from the States, my mom comes with like 3 plates of fruit, being like, you're not taking care of yourself. You're like basically half dead. And you know, she's a Persian mom, so it figures, right? But yeah, my name is Mahbod Sabbaghi. You can call me Mo. I'm building the intelligence search company. You can call it TISC. And we're currently building AI or software for high pressure, like time-sensitive operators in physical environments. So what does that mean? That means coaches on the sideline. That means, forest fire operators dealing with a fire. And so the idea is that the general thesis is that the physical world is really rich with insights. In fact, it's the single largest untapped knowledge base humanity has to offer, but it's basically unsearchable because you have trillions of hours of footage, of archived footage. You have infinitely easier ways to set up new streams of data, to set up new sensors and all that. There's an information overflow basically coming in. And so where else better to take this to market first than basketball or sports as a whole, I guess. And so it's the exact shape of the problem that mattered to us. We just want to give some context before I get into the last couple of months of pain that we've been going through. I have some advice for the founders here, but effectively, it's coaches trying to look over seasons worth of information, wanting to pluck out insights out of that, and to beat their adversaries, their opponents. And so this was a very easily, it was a problem for us that we can apply it in basketball, we can apply it in football, et cetera, et cetera. And our first product is pickandroll.ai. We got some coverage from the Global Mail, which is pretty cool. We got some love from the Canadians. And there were so many lessons about building this damn thing. Jesus. Our unsung heroes of this whole business is the first part of this. I want to give a shout out to them is the young coaches that were actually able to bet on us to actually kind of work with them. So we usually hear this advice of, okay, you should go and build something that has value, or it's useful, and that's fine, that's great. I think in the new era of kind of trying to sell agents and try to sell AI to people, align with people's career goals. Straight up, I think like our pitch to a lot of these assistant coaches was, yo, you can go impress your boss if you use this piece of technology, and you're going to be able to do the work that takes hours and sometimes days worth of recruiting and scouting work and all that in literally minutes. And so we literally let them, like under the table, we're like, go use this tool, get addicted to it, and get use out of it. And then when the time comes, when we kind of effectively go in there and we go to the head coach, we're like, 3 of your assistant coaches are using this. You should pay, basically. That was our like negotiation tactic. So our unsung heroes were the people like the young coaches who were like, they know what technology is, they want to try this out. And I think align yourself with people's career goals. That is the single most like visceral way we've been able to at least successfully get sales going, and that's what moves the needle the most, right? A lot of people are trying to sell agents, and they're going about this whole thing of like, oh, we're going to replace people. Oh my God, no. Tell them you are going to become empowered. You're going to become 10 times more effective than anyone else you're working with, and go from there. And finally, this is kind of a tip for our company as a whole, like what's let us be so successful is use your Canadian superpowers, man. You guys are all Canadian founders. Look, we have 1 foot in the States, we have 1 foot in Canada. I mean, that's just the best way to do it, in my opinion, because all the best talent that builds Silicon Valley comes from here anyways. You have access to the best talent. You have Waterloo students, U of T students, TMU students, whatever. Like, you have the best talent here, and you don't have to spend your entire pre-seed hiring an OpenAI engineer. You have the best right here. These are the people who will go there anyways. So just find the people who work with you, who you mesh well with here. Go to these events. Highly talented people. In fact, there was someone who said earlier, I'm looking for go-to-market roles. You. Yeah, meet me there, buy the pizza. And anyone else who's doing go-to-market, please, go pizza. But use your Canadian superpowers. I mean, like what made us successful was we were able to build relationships in Silicon Valley with like advisors from Meta Superintelligence, people from DeepMind. That's great. We can't afford these people right now. We're a pre-seed company. But guess what? In Canada, you can get that same kind of caliber quality of talent and get them to work for you. Get them to work for you effectively. So yeah, thank you. That's it. Questions? I remember there was questions.
Alex is going to jump
Alex, hello.
So how'd you go from, because when I first talked to you guys, you were trying to sell to like marketplaces for pools to help improve search, to finding basketball. So tell people a bit about how you did that journey and discovered this vertical.
Oh my Jesus. Yeah, Yeah, we started by selling, as Alex said, we were trying to sell to swimming pool marketplaces initially. And the journey was, it's a painful one, to say the least. And this is a general lesson for everyone here. Most of the problems always come down to, are you actually interested in doing this thing? Do you actually, like as Suk, you were saying earlier, like, list out what you're working on, and is this an actual field you want to go after? And we were just doing it because we thought, oh, we can go make enterprise big ACVs and big numbers. The VCs are gonna love it. Well, don't do this for VCs, man. Go solve the problem that actually like you care about. I love working with basketball coaches, dude. They're the coolest people on the planet, and like actually solving a problem that you care about. That was the real like the main pivot point, at least for me individually as an individual. That was kind of where it all kind of came from. So yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
I love your energy, by the way. Thank you for giving that speech. I have a question on product market fit. So when you say you decided to turn on monetization, what was the percentage of people that stayed that kind of informed you that you had some signal of product market fit? Yeah,
so we had around 20 teams that were working us at any given moment, or it was like 25. And then I remember 5 of them straight up like didn't hit us back. And but 12 of them are actively using us still. Right, so some of them are still kind of like in the in-between phase, but a decent chunk of them, again, because it was sticky enough and they were kind of addicted to it, like they're actively using us as of the second. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That was really interesting. I saw last year with the introduction of NIL money into college sports, we saw the fewest Cinderella stories we've ever seen in March Madness. And we saw just the consolidation of kind of these amazing teams at like Bama and a lot of these very large schools. I was wondering what you think the effect of AI and coaching and on basketball is going to have. Is it going to benefit these smaller schools, or where do you see like the future landscape?
Yo, that's a great question, because that's actually something we're actively trying to sell to. So so your question is basically asking like is NIL going to help these smaller schools? Is that kind of where you're going with that, or?
Yeah, or like AI.
Yeah. So again, we see this as a way, like a lot of teams are not going to have these sophisticated analytical squads that are going to be able to go do thousands of hours of research on each individual player and find that. We see ourselves as leveling the playing field in a way. You don't have to be a Duke to be able to like analyze at scale. You don't have to have that kind of like coaching power, or pay your coaches $10 million a year. Like we're working with the whole spectrum. We're going from the VMIs of the world to Wyoming. So it's really about leveling evening the playing field in that regard. So I think that hopefully that answers your question, like in terms of how AI is helping that front.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Is there one more?
Just purely basketball question. So is just like a video analyzing how many times they run a play, how successful it is, and then use the AI to crunch that number?
As
long as there's a video, the AI can analyze it, and are you pinpointing certain things that you pre-program? Okay, maybe pick and rolls, maybe, or zone or whatever.
So I love this question. So what you just described at the end, like, oh, it's like pre-labeled. That's the old way of like how Synergy is doing it, basically. It's pre-labeling things. We don't do that. Our whole thesis is that you should be able to look at any video or any stream of information, and then being able to pull insights out of that. So we don't want someone to sit there and manually label things. We don't want to. Our AI doesn't do labeling or tagging, because we're going to start with basketball. We have the luxury of there being labels available within basketball, but we're eventually going to try to sell this to, say, search and rescue teams. They're not going to have tags or labels. They're not going to have that luxury. So we have to. The technology we're building has to work without tags, without the need to create tags. That's kind of like the general thesis behind this.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we get a round of applause?